Hey, what's up, guys? Western New York Bigfoot here. Western New York Bigfoot Association. Just figured I'd go live here for a little while. Just a few things I wanted to touch on. It's a beautiful morning. All the birds are out. They're all over my yard. It's crazy. No, I just wanted to touch on a few things. And I recently watched a video by 쏘ᴍᴇrɪᴄᴜ. Seagulls are so loud. And, I really do tend to agree with some of the things that he does say. He was actually talking about, in his new video, some aggressive Sasquatch. And how people are coming to him so often. In regards to aggressive Sasquatch. And the thing is, he's right. We've kind of decimated the forests. The government has done so many things that it's ruined their habitat. Native Americans have called these people. It's always people. It's not an animal or this or that. So for thousands of years, they lived alongside what they call as another people. So across America, the rise in aggression from a Sasquatch has gone a lot higher. Hey, I'm in Pittsburgh, PA, getting ready to work. I install carpet. I watch you all the time. Hey, thanks, buddy. Normally I don't go live or anything, but I'm going to start doing this live YouTube stuff too. We've had some aggressive things happen, and kind of how do I say this, the way the Bigfoot world thinks is that the higher north you are, Canada and New York and stuff like that, the more aggressive Sasquatch is, and the farther southern you get, the more docile. But I don't believe that to be so. Either they're aggressive for their own reasons. Maybe you encroached. Maybe the forest has been decimated. Maybe there's been all kinds of problems, going on. It's kind of like me coming to your front door, banging on your front door, and you're sitting in your living room. And then I come in there and I do all kinds of things. I start yelling and going, woo! And I start tree knocking on your wall. And I start doing all this crazy stuff. Aren't you going to be a little pissed off? Yeah, you're going to be upset, right? You're going to just be like, what the hell is this? You're going to throw something back at me. You're going to throw the remote control at me. You're going to take off, It's certain things. We have to treat them more like a people with respect, As far as the whole crazy woo factor, when I mean woo, it's this paranormal thing. I don't know. I have no idea. What I seen looked flesh and blood to me on multiple occasions. Now, don't get me wrong. Let me backtrack. There are paranormal things that have happened to us and our team and hundreds of other people in the woods while we're out, squatching. Can I directly correlate that to another, to being out looking for Bigfoot? No, or Sasquatch. I can't correlate any type of woo factor to Sasquatch. They didn't appear in front of my eyes. They didn't disappear in front of my eyes. The films that I do have, you could see them walking away. If you see them walking away, why didn't they just disappear, right? Why didn't they just poof? No, they didn't. You see them biped walking away, turns, fluid motion, gone. Hey, what's up, Rick? Do you believe that they're actually from another room, or do you actually believe they're just a physical? So dimensions, you mean? Well, people have stated that they can come from one dimension to another and do all this sort of shifting, let's say. Do I know if they are? I don't know. I can't prove that. Have I seen some things that are crazy? Oh, yes. I've seen some crazy things happen. Wow, the birds are loud today. Seagulls, too. It's a beautiful morning. Birds are everywhere. I love it. Yeah, you meant to say realm. That's cool. They may be from another realm. You know, you never know. I mean, is this why, you know, we get these terrible photos? Is this, you know, here's the way I look at it. I run Bridging the Gap Between Sasquatch and Woo. Nobody really took a hard look at everything, but all they wanted to do is criticize. So you have all these people here that are flesh and blood, and you have all these people here that are Woo, the paranormal factor. Well, all these people are not crazy, and all these people are not crazy. So there has to be some common ground in the middle. There has to be something in the middle that we can look at or correlate or do certain things to say, hey, that may be possible. We don't know. So as far as mind speak and cloaking and all that type of stuff, you have to start looking at things, you know, like how does a chameleon change color? You know, they use chromosomes. Based on chromosomes, that's how they change color. You know, there's certain things that happen. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, you know, you have to correlate things. You have to put it in perspective. Unless you catch it on video, unless it's like pure proof, we don't have that. Hi Tina, love watching your videos. You got me getting out there myself. Hey, I appreciate that. You know, like I try to tell people, I never wanted to get into bigfooting. It wasn't my thing. It wasn't my MO. I used to do a lot of metal detecting. We'd go out into the woods, old home structures, have a great time, you know, find all kinds of stuff. It was awesome. It really was. I don't like doing it myself anymore. I really won't do it myself anymore. But that's where I had my first 2 encounters. That kind of changed my whole thinking, you know, for everything. Even hunting, even, you know, getting out there. I used to be the guy in the woods. I'd be out there 5 in the morning. I'm in my tree stand and I'm ready to rock. It changed me. Now I don't go into daylight until I can actually see what's going on in the woods, because I know that these people are real. Are they aggressive? You don't know. You get the growls, you get the rock throws, you get log throws, you get all kinds of stuff. Is that scary? Yes, it is. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. If I were to sit here and say, well, hey, you know, that, don't even let it bother you, you know, I'm immune to that, or you never get immune, because it'll catch you off guard, or a rock will land right close to you. Some crazy stuff happens out there, you know, and they're getting more aggressive, and the reason is they're trying to survive, which fits into our paranoid theory. They're trying to survive, and you're basically encroaching on them. You're coming right to their front door. You're coming into their living room, and that's what I try to tell people. Like, look, you know, just observe from a distance for a little bit. Sit down. Let them get comfortable. Try to interact. Snowwalker Prime in all his videos seems to criticize all their research. Don't like him. Bart, hey, everybody has their opinion. Him, you, myself. I don't like criticizing people because that doesn't get you anywhere. I can't say that he does. You know, he's a good dude. You know, he's actually getting out into the woods. See, the thing about Merchant is he was totally a skeptic. Total skeptic. He hated everybody, criticized everybody, and then something happened. And it totally flipped him to the other side of the scale. Total other side. He went from, you know, skeptic to believer to knower to the woo paranormal factor, like that. So now he's totally a different person. He understands, he's grasping the concept, which is really good, because a lot of people do follow him. And, you know, maybe he can teach things. And the thing is, he is a wealth of knowledge. I will say that. He does have a lot of knowledge when it comes to the woods and the animals and everything else. You know, Snowwalker's, he gives a good take on things. So hopefully, you know, if you're saying that he says things about people, don't be discouraged by that. Pick out the good things. That's what I tell people. Pick out the good things. Thanks. Good luck. Have you watched Utah Sasquatch any? Okay, I have. I used to be a really big fan when he first started out. I really was. You know, he's doing good things. He's getting in the woods. He's, you know, he is approaching things in a right mind, I should say. He's gotten a lot of people on board, which is good because that's working together. But there's some things that I know. Let's see. I'm going out for my first time to start looking this weekend, and the dude I work with is laughing his ass off me. Get rid of the ridicule, Rick. Don't even worry about that. Do your own thing. I tell you what. I'm partially through my book. I'm writing a book, and there will be a chapter about that. And there's a way to beat that. And I'll reveal that in the book. I don't really want to touch too much on that. But guys, don't let them bother you. You know, I went through that myself. For a year, 2 years, I went through that. You know what? Once you have a sighting, once you believe in what you're doing, once you put your boots on the ground and start looking around, don't share your evidence right away. Just sit on it and understand and, you know, just explain to them what you find. Be rational. Until that time comes where you have something and they can't explain it. And then you know what'll happen? They'll start saying, hey, you think I can go with you? Then you know you've won. Good live stream, done. Well done. Do you think there'll be a time when we know what all the tree structures mean and actually have in contact with Sasquatch? No problem, Bart. Let me get back to Bart's subject real quick. Yeah, Utah's a good dude. I don't bash anybody. I don't like doing that. But there are things that I know. Bart, if you were to message me or something like that, I would talk in private. I don't like to go into that kind of stuff. But I do not follow him as much as I used to. I know what we observe, and the only thing that I will say is the structures that he is finding are not what us other researchers are finding. Myself, Anthony Moffat, other people are not finding those types of structures. There's like a whole storyline I could tell you behind that, but either way, who knows? About the tree structures? Hopefully one day we will figure out what the tree structures mean. There's many things. Some people say it's like a roadmap. You know, and here's the odd thing. If in most structures, when you have a structure and all these things and tangled together, there's usually one that'll point off in a direction, whatever direction, you know, it is. And a lot of people started taking that as a directional marker, and then they follow that. And we've done the same thing. And what happens is, amazingly, you'll end up running into another structure, be it bigger or smaller. You'll run into another structure. You'll run into a body of water. You might run into a food source. You might run into like a nice valley. So it's almost like a... see, we have stop signs, guys. This is how I try to say it. We have stop signs. We have, you know, all our traffic signs, signals, stops. We have all that. That's how I see that stuff. You know, that's their, like, roadmap. That's their way to function and contact each other. It's all communication. Why do they communicate? To survive. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's why they make these structures. It's survival. It's you know, contact, you know, maybe it's to say, hey, this is my area, or this is our group's area. If a new group is coming in, or a straggler comes in and they see that, they know to go that way. I'm believing it's more like a roadmap thing. That's the best way I can explain it. But if you're in the woods and you find them, follow them and see where they lead. That, you know, someday we'll figure it out. But the only way to figure that out is to have the specimen or have the species proven. Unless you can actually see, here's one thing nobody's ever caught. Nobody's ever caught them actually making a structure. And the thing I try to tell people is, if you're going into your area, right, and you're finding tree structures, and you find a tree structure that has just recently been added to, that area is where you should be going over and over and over. That is the area. For them to come back and add to that structure, it means something. So how do we know if they add to it? Look at the base of the trees. Are they fresh? Were they recently broken? Were they recently placed there? The ones that have been situated there usually are stuffed in the ground, or, you know, they're brown and rotted, so on and so forth. So if you if you look for the new tree break branches and the new stuff betweens, and you start looking at the bases and it's newer, it's fresh, you're going to say, wow, that was just put there, or that was within a month. Those are the areas they're coming back to. And usually it's a bigger structure that they do that to. It's usually not a smaller structure. I mean, by big, I mean the size of your, at least the size of your patio table on your back deck or something like that. A bigger structure or bigger than that, that they're adding to. And why are they adding to it? That's where I'm at now. I'm trying to figure that portion out. Why are they adding to it? Why are they coming back to this location? Is it seasonal? Is it just certain times? I really don't know. As far as the migration thing, though, I'm trying to tie that together, too, because I believe Sasquatch migrate. And not all of them, though. What I've tied together is I've talked with people in Idaho, I've talked with people in Utah, Virginia, New York, New Jersey. I recently talked to a guy in the Pine Barrens, and he calls me, and he's like, hey, guys, listen, every year I have a new male that comes into my area. White, black, brown. I'm always seeing him. He keeps coming, new ones keep coming in here all the time. So I started to delve into this. I'm like, why? Why are these new Sasquatch coming into this area every year? And he says it's a male. So I started thinking. I said, okay, 90% of our sightings are on highways or roads, fields by police officers, normal people, hikers, whatever it may be, right? But what do they always say? This is what they say. They go, sorry, I had a message. They say, oh my God, it was a giant creature, huge, massive shoulders, huge, 8, 9, 10 feet tall. And what do we know? We know that 8, 9, 10 foot tall is usually falling into the male spectrum, right? Into that male category. We never hear anybody say, oh my God, I seen this little tiny one go across the road. Or, oh my God, I seen this female with breasts, hairy, come across the road. No. We're always hearing, oh my God, it's a giant male. Or, oh my God, did you see its shoulders and how tall it was? So that puts it in the male spectrum, right? So here's my theory. That the males are the ones doing the traveling. The males are the ones seeking out the new mates. That the juveniles stick with the mothers in the core locations. They stay in the woods. They stay back. They stay in that same particular area. And the males are the ones that rotate and come around to the other females. Why do they need to find other females for mating? If you keep mating with the same, regardless if you're basically related or not, they have to be somewhat related no matter what. If you keep mating within that gene pool, it's going to ruin that gene pool. And what happens is it's going to kill it off. You're going to go extinct. And when their whole discipline is to survive, what happens is they have to go seek. They're like deer. They're like other animals. They have to go seek. They have to go find. You know what I'm saying? They have to go find another mate. And maybe it's instinctual. Maybe they go into a rut like a deer. We don't know. But it's always the males that are on the travel. And the only people that are really seeing the juveniles and the females are the researchers or the hikers way in the woods, because it seems like that's where they stay. And you've seen a couple of videos, the New York baby Bigfoot, where it's in a tree. It's with a female. What's the other one? Is it the Independence Day footage possibly? Looks like she's with the mother's with a baby. So that ties those two together. So I believe the migration theory is where the male moves himself, looking for a mate. I believe they hang out by roads at night to see easy meal roadkill. Hey, it's possible as far as an easy meal, but what they're doing is they're actually trying to learn us. As much as we're trying to learn them, they're trying to learn us. And what people have to understand is they're habituating with us and stuff like that because they want to learn us. So as humans, we think we have it all figured out. We got it. You know what I mean? That's not always the case, guys. You have to look at it and say, maybe they're trying to do this to learn me. Maybe they want to know what we are and how we are. Because certain people get really good interactions where others, you bring them in the area and it shuts down. totally shuts down. They won't even give you a wood knock. They won't do anything. So it's like they know there's more of the intuition there. There's something there. I want to say an intelligence. Rick, just ignore and keep your business to yourself. People at work and in public just may not believe or understand. This is something you are doing for yourself, not the jerk at the job. Exactly. Exactly. Totally. Let them believe what they want. Be positive. Do your own research. Stay humble. And, you know, what I tell people is, what is the reason you are going out? Figure out that reason. Is it to prove it? Is it to prove it to other people? You know, is it to prove it to yourself? Is it to prove it to your family? If you have a goal, set your goal and move forward from there. That would be the best way to go about it. And once you have your goal, then you can wrap your research around your goal. Do it that way. Because when you start getting all over the place, people are going to be like, whoa, they're nuts. Interesting. That's absolutely something I have not thought about. And they are trying to learn us, observing us from afar. Exactly. They are trying to learn us. They are there. Based on my video footage, when I had set my camera down, and the huge male out in the distance, about 80 yards, stands up. He stands there. He watches me. He is watching me as I do what I do. And why is that? Why is he watching me? So I have to wrap my head around this. I have to put myself in their shoes. If you're not putting yourself in their shoes, guys, the chances of learning them are slim. So you have to say, what would they do, or why were they doing that? And so when I go through the video, I see him watch me, and the only time he stands there the whole time until I leave and actually start to walk in his direction is when he turns around, fluid motion, slides right off. He observed me. He was trying to learn me. He was trying to see what I was, you know, what I was doing. And that's the thing. People say, "Oh my God, the cameras are out there," and they avoid the cameras. Well, why do they avoid the cameras, guys? Because they're watching you put them up. That's how they know where they're at. They're off 200-300 yards. They sit off the trail 200-300 yards. They're watching you guys. Okay, don't go over there. I just seen what he did. That's basic. Hi, Ryan. Have you ever had any strange things happen to you, like being zapped? Tina, yes, I have. I never really believed in any of that zap theory thing, or whatever that is. I was doing a live feed like this. I was out in the woods, had it live, and my buddy was with me. He's like 6'3", 260, and we're walking around doing our thing, and he's never really scared of much. And he goes off in this area, and he comes back. He's like, dude, I'm not going in there. Nope, I'm not going in there. Something's telling me I got this something. And I was like, you're never really scared of much, guys. I don't know why you're acting like that. He's like, dude, I don't know. I just got this feeling. So what I did is I was like, well, I'm going in there. So what I did is I decided to come around like this, and I wanted to button hook the area. So I was like, you know what, if there is something over there, I'm going to try to flank it, right? So I do that, and he starts following, you know, me into this area, and it's real tight. It's all these thin saplings, but there's thousands of them, you know, so you're doing this thing, cutting through them. And as I'm moving into this deeper section, like, he's coming behind me, and all of a sudden I got hit right in my head. I had to stop. I had the live feed in my hand, and I'm wincing, and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It was hurting so bad. It felt like my brain was on fire. That's the best way to explain it. And I had all these people live watching this. My eyes were watering. My nose started watering. I'm holding onto a tree. I'm like feeling like I'm gonna pass out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm holding this live feed, and people are like, oh my God. And they're all like, are you okay? Are you okay? And he's behind me, and he's like, you know, go. I'm like, no, turn around, go back. And he was like, what's wrong? I'm like, my head. And it just felt like my head was on fire. And the funny thing was, my eyes are watering, my nose is watering. I turn around, I start to walk away. The farther away I get from where that happened, the better it was. It felt so much better. Like, I got about 100 yards away, and it was totally gone. I was able to clear my eyes and wipe my nose, and I was like, what just happened? And everybody online was like, you just got zapped, you just got zapped, you just got zapped. So is that what it is? I don't know, but that's what happened to me. Did it feel good? Hell no. No way, guys. That was like, you don't ever want to experience something like that, because it's rough. I had one other thing happen to me. I've been hunting 22 years. I hunt, big game all over. I've been to many states to do it too. God, I love birds. I've been hunting my whole life, and I've never really been lost. I've never had an issue. What do you think of Colorado Bigfoot? I'm planning on going out this weekend. Should I try to find someone to go with? People laugh at me. I live in Florida, and I'm going to check out St. John's River. If you message me on like Facebook or whatever, I'll help you pick out an area. Maybe I can give you some insight just from what I've learned, Jason. And maybe you can go into that area. Maybe you can find some structures. Don't worry about the ridicule, guys. Just do what you do. When you have the evidence, or when you have some proof, then you can show people. And this is what I stated earlier. What's going to happen is eventually then people that are doing this in your ear, you're going to get something. And you're going to have something good. And then they're going to say, hey, you think I can come with you? You think I can go out in the woods with you? That's when you know. That's when you know you've either won, or they're so curious that they can't explain it and they want to go see it for themselves. So just stay positive. Don't worry about that. But if you message me, Jason, it's Ryan Reading on Facebook. PM me, and I'll try to help you out with a location in Colorado near the river there, because I may know some locations where you could have some type of activity. I'm in Florida. We said the skunk ape here. Yeah, my buddy's down in Florida, Stacy. Stacy Brown does a lot of research down there. Good dude, awesome guy. He's actually caught some thermal footage. It's called the brown footage. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but his dad and them, they were actually out and caught the thermal footage of a Sasquatch, and it's got a huge gait. It's a huge creature. From talking with him time and time again, it's not a hoax. He basically puts it behind him, and he's like, I'm moving forward with research. I'm trying to really prove the species exists. So he's doing good things. So here's the thing, people. Everybody thinks that they're rare. That's not right. Let's look at it this way. Okay, Jason goes out for his first time, right? Jason has an encounter or a sighting. Now, how is that possible? How is that possible if they are rare? You have all these people going out for their first time, or once in a while, or hikers that just happen to hit the trail and they have that encounter. They can't be that rare if people across the board are seeing them for, going out one time. Imagine the researchers that go out 400 times a year, or every day, or twice a day, or whatever. Imagine the number of encounters we have, or we have witnessed or observed. That's what I try to tell people. So they're not that rare, guys. So don't think. My best guesstimation, this is my opinion, there's at least 15,000 of them. At least. If you break it down per county and stuff like that, imagine if you just said there's just four of them per county in the United States. You see how astronomical that number would be? Just 4 per county. So it gets you thinking. I'm posting a couple of links on our YouTube discussion page you might find. Thanks, Howie. I appreciate it. I always read everything. Never stop learning. Don't ever stop learning. Don't think you know it all, because I learn every day. The book that we're doing, I'm going to show a progression from people years ago to today. And what I tell people is take the knowledge you have learned, take the books you have learned and read and everything else, and take that and implement it into the field. If you start doing that, take what I learned, implement it in the field. Take what I learned, implement it in the field. It becomes it's a cycle, and you're learning, you're obtaining, you're retaining all the information. You know what you're doing, you're out there squatching. The biggest part is hundreds of people want to do this. Thousands. You know what the problem is? The ridicule. 3 or 4 posts on here about ridicule. Don't even worry about it. Are you crazy? You're not crazy, right? You've been checked out. You don't see a psychiatrist or psychologist. You don't have these, and to say just because you were to see a psychologist or psychiatrist doesn't make you crazy. People do have family problems. People do need counseling. People have marriage problems. There are certain things that, but you're not crazy. If you really want to beat the ridicule, when my book comes out, there's one thing that you'll learn. And I had to beat it, and it took me a really long time. Do people still say things? Yes. I stay down to earth. I stay rational. I share my Bigfoot experiences. I share everything. I'm open. I'm honest. I'm truthful. I try to teach people what I do know or what I've done wrong. If you don't explain the things you've done wrong, like when I first came in, I was just like anybody new. I went out in the woods because of my experiences and my encounters. I ended up getting some photos, right? I ended up getting some pictures, and oh my God, I want to share them. So I get on Facebook. I started typing, oh, Bigfoot, Bigfoot, Bigfoot. I started joining all these groups. Boom, 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 boom. I didn't know who was who. I didn't know what was what. I didn't know who had been there 50 years searching. I didn't know anything. So I started sharing my photos, and boy, did I get ridiculed. You are supposed to follow some type of scientific method, guys. That's kind of what they want. Depending on your research, unless it's for yourself, if you're going to try to prove it or share it out there, they wanted you to follow scientific method in all these ways, and I got ridiculed. And, when I knew it was a Sasquatch, right, when I knew because I had seen, I defended that. So I defended, and I was in the ring, you know what I'm saying? I was there defending. And it made me look worse because by defending, they thought that you were lying or that you're hoaxing. It's a total reverse psychology in there, in all these worlds, in these forums and stuff like that. So be careful what you share. Just be careful until you understand. Eventually you'll get your credibility, you'll get your footing, you'll get what you're seeking, you'll find it in the woods, you'll be able to share it, and then people will start coming around. Like I said, they'll start coming knocking at your door. Hey, can I go with you? Hey, can I check that out? Be careful who you let into your area, guys, just for the fact that they can mess it up. My buddy Paul Hulsley just did a video. A day ago. He's sitting in his location, having a talk, and he said that the area got ruined because he brought somebody in from the outside that, so be careful who you bring in your area. Feed is awesome. Really appreciate what you're doing and giving us all the great No problem, brother. Hey, that's what I'm here for. Hi, Ryan. When will the book be available? And I hope it will be and I can't see the rest. Right now, we have the book cover done, the back cover done. I'm working with an author in the Bigfoot world. She's a great lady. Published art. She's awesome. So we have everything done. I'm on chapter 4 right now. There's going to be, give or take, 8 chapters in the book, maybe 9. I can divulge the name. The name will be the Bigfoot Spectrum. I'm just going to leave it at that. And I'm going to touch so many bases through Bigfooting. So much information. From like A to Z. I'm going across the board. The longest part, so you're looking at a time for 4 to 6 months before it's out. It will be on Amazon and stuff like that. But I'm incorporating so many researchers, so many people, so many groups, kind of like a who's who. I'm incorporating them into the book. And by doing that, I have to share photos, share their pictures, share some evidence, share some things across the board, share some theories. So there's a lot going into it. So when new people come into this, they can say, oh, hey, who's that? Oh, now I know what he does and where, so I can follow him and I can do, you see what I'm saying? There's no outline for anybody out there. There's nothing. It may be posted in forums and stuff like that, but there's no real books that show things. But we're going to touch so much. We're going to touch from entertainment to real research. We're going to have some scientists in the book, even like Dr. Meldrum. Dr. Meldrum's in the book. We're going to write a little bit about Les Stroud. and some of the impact on research that he's had. There's some other scientists that are in the book, DNA specialists that are from universities. The person that I send my samples to is going to be in the book, all from a science perspective.